Building here. See the garages behind me? I gotta be careful how I'm pointing this because people think I'm filming the other way. I pointed in my windows. I don't have my Karen stick on. But these are typical garages Soviet Union had. You could buy them and put them up. And the way I understand the way the system was, you would go to your neighborhood boss. You had associations in each neighborhood and apply for where you want to put it in at, and they'd have a little meeting and people give their input as to whether it damaged them or offended them or caused them problems, and they would hammer it all out to what's fair and either allow or disallow you to put a garage in. You could go buy a garage and put it up. There's lots of them around here. People have their own little tiny garages for their little tiny cars, and it's all good. It fell apart. The U.S. aid and International Monetary Fund and post-Soviet space spent your tax money to keep the petty bureaucrat offices going, but they let the neighborhood associations collapse. They kept the petty bureaucrats open so there wouldn't be any businesses started. They told you they were helping them build a market economy. Magnificent bastards, aren't they? Yeah, going to build a market economy by paying bureaucrats. I've uncovered evidence of that. I'm going to do a video on that. A long time ago, I met a bunch of people who were on a payroll from U.S. aid. They got checks from U.S. aid as economists. They were nothing more than petty bureaucrats. They didn't have anything to do but hunt down people trying to start businesses and shake them down for bribes or take all their money and ruin them. Economists. Anyway, back to garages. When it broke up and all this neighborhood system kind of went dormant pretty much, people just started putting them wherever they wanted to. And there's a lot of them got put in some pretty strange places. Not really in this town much. Medians, parks. I don't know if it's true or not. It probably is, but in some cities I read people just go into parks and tear down the playground equipment and put a garage up. You know, there's pushback to that. It doesn't have to be official. Somebody did that in one of these neighborhoods. I think the local people would just make sure something really bad happened to that garage. So people got to be careful. They got to live with one another. They got to not go too far or something comes back on them. It's organic and it works. It works better than government. I'm not an anarchist, don't get me wrong, or a libertarian, but local government, you know, keep people from killing each other or stuff like that. They had a good system here. Any property around in your neighborhood that's not being used, you could do something good with it that benefits everybody. Why can't you? Oh, that's socialism, right? Not really. You have billionaires and corporations that gather up all the money and all the resources and control everything and keep you away from it. They're not doing anything with it. They're just letting it sit, but they're going to squeeze every penny out of it. You don't get any. Anyway, just an idea is some places have done something like this, but well, some progressive cities have things in play where unused property and decrepit property, derelict property, city property they're not doing anything with can be used for gardens and whatnot. But they regulate it so tight that you really can't do anything. They regulate the crap out of it to make it where it's pretty much useless. For stupid reasons. Insurance. Somebody could get an eye put out. Liability issues. I didn't get a garage in here when it was the Wild West. I found some places. There's a place nearby where I was just showing you. There was an empty lot. Big trash pile in it. Yeah, I had my designs on it. Go clean up the trash pile. Nobody's going to stop you from doing that. Then you lay out some stakes and put some string up. Let it sit for a while, see if anybody comes and objects. Maybe start digging, wait a while. Maybe make sure some of the neighbors go there during the time people get off work, so they got time to talk to you. You'll be seen a lot. If anybody comes and objects to it, and somebody might, maybe not, and just go from there one step at a time. But I never did it. Somebody put a fence up in front of that place that I was going to use, and they're not doing anything with it at all. I thought they were going to make a garden there, but they just put a fence up and it's just sitting there. Nobody can go in it. Anyway, now it's Russia. Everything's regulated and controlled. You can't just go do what you want with some empty property unless you're just going to clean it. But hell, they've been doing that. I don't see any big trash piles. Or they cleaned up all of them. There were places where it's just people just threw their trash and nobody did anything about it. But pretty much all gone. Every place I knew. Well, I was scheming on putting garages in some of them, but the trash piles were gone now. Ukrainians never cleaned anything up. Russians cleaned all the trash piles up that I can see, even some real little hideaway places in my neighborhood, because I knew where they all were, because I was scheming on putting a garage in them. But now they got a process. If you want to get an area, you'll probably have to buy it. It wouldn't be very expensive. It depends on where it is, and then they'd have to approve. The city, I think, would approve now, not just your neighborhood. I have a friend that works in the department, but she doesn't speak a word of English, and my Russian is bad. I could try to pick her brains on that next time I see her. Anyway, just putting a little short video out to make you think about things, land use in your neighborhood. You could form associations to do stuff like that. In some areas where you got reasonable, small local government, you could probably do something. You could probably do something good for the neighborhood. And people could make a little money off of it too. Nothing wrong with that. Why can't it be like that? Corporations control your laws and regulations. Billionaires and corporations do it against your interests and for theirs. That's why I'm anti-oligarchic, I'm anti-globalist. Anyway, that's enough for this one. Look at the links in the bottom. I got a link to a description of Eurasianism. It's demonized in the West. They say some crazy, absurd things and take things out of context and try to make the Eurasianists into these horrible boogeymen that want to bring back the Soviet Union. You got to keep in mind, your corporate shills think that any controls on their depredations and they're taking your money, any controls on them at all is socialism, and socialism is bad. That's why you need ideological training. Ideological education. You need to know the terms and know what they mean. Anyway, that's enough for this. Uncle Bildy, signing out.